Welcome back. Are you wired tight? Are you wired right? You sometimes feel like this guy? Well, if you do, we're here with the guys who can help you out. And I'm here with Mark with Wired Right Systems. Mark, tell us a little bit about this company.
Wired Rite's been around since 1990, and we've been specializing for all those years in big systems for work trucks. So we've had a lot of success in the more traditional marketplace of circuit breakers, relays, and switches. Today we're here at SEMA showing our new flex panel system featuring custom switch panels and solid state power distribution units. Each one of these has the same capabilities as the next, so you can load the same program in each one, and they're packaged differently so that you can pick how many outputs you need based on your application. So this is the 4 output, the 6 output, and the 8 output system.
Now, anyone that's doing any type of wiring job, how does this help them out?
Well, the idea behind this system is to really help the installer or the shop guy, because you put all the complication in the software and you mount and wire the systems the same way across the board. So your guys in the shop would be able to learn how to make the pins that go into these kind of connectors, learn how to hook up the communication cables, and the programming can be done either ahead of time, after the fact, or it can be changed. So you're basically separating the design from your shop floor.
So you kind of take all the stress out of it and make it a little bit more easy.
Right. The idea is short runs, low current. And if you want, I'll be happy to show you some of these, how this might work.
Sure.
Okay. So if we start with the simplest unit, this is 4 outputs. This one we have programmed up to just be a timer. So all that's going to happen is this light's going to go on, and in 3 minutes that light will go out. Very simple program, sometimes very useful. The next one is our high current unit. So each of these screws will handle 30 amps each, or about 150 amps for the whole system. You see we have a custom legending system so that the user can specify what labels they would like. And this one is set up just as a simple one switch runs each load. If you look on the back of the system, you'll see that there's no current going through the switch panel. You just have signaling going through the LED panel to the communication module. So the only wire you're bringing through the vehicle is this small 4-wire communication cable. Then the unit itself is mounted close to where the power is needed. So there's just one center screw here for the main power bus, and each of the loads is wired directly to its appropriate output stud. And of course the purpose of the program is to just determine whether or not that screw is going to be on or off. So it can be very simple, it can be very complicated. This one's simple. Would you like to see complicated?
Sure.
So this one again, we're showing a more complex system. This has 4 switches but 8 loads. If you shut the ignition switch off, you'll see that 4 of them still remain on as a battery hot position, but there's still only one power bus. The way that's done is on the back here, you see this one sense lead reads from the ignition switch and just tells the system whether or not the key is in the on or the off position. So again, this is much simpler for the shop guy, because normally if you want this, you have to have 2 completely separate power feeds, one from the ignition side and one from the battery side. Then what we're trying to demonstrate here is load shedding. So I have this little dial here to control the voltage in the system, and you see if I swing the voltage back and forth, you see nothing's happening. This would be as if you were cranking the vehicle in cold weather. But if I leave this below 12 volts, you see it starts shedding loads. Come down a little further, and it'll shed them even faster. And we come all the way down, and they're all gone. Now this is set up so that they don't come back up unless you flick the switch. Now this particular job also had, this was installed in a vehicle that had computers in it. And when the truck went back to the yard, there was a big Wi-Fi network in the yard, and the computer would have to download the day's work after the driver had left. So this over here also has a 2-hour timer. When they shut the truck off, This one will go off after a couple hours after the computer's done. Let's talk a little bit about switches. These switches are spaced 1 inch apart and have a nice contour top to them. Now, one of the features is the ability to change quickly the appearance of the switches. So we take that black plastic one off, and we're going to install a red rubberized one, just like that. The switches over here, you see, are much smaller, closer together, good for tight spots. Replace the old-fashioned toggle switches, which can sometimes hit your shoulder or your knee if you bang into them too hard.
Well, for anyone who's doing any type of wiring work, how could they get a hold of you guys so they can make their life a whole lot simpler?
Well, we're found easiest on the web, www.wiredrite.com. And you'll find all the information on the Flex panel and our other product line as well.
Well, thanks so much for being on the show.
Well, thank you very much for stopping by.